Welcome to the 2012 Wussie ride. This year's adventure will be a 471-mile journey beginning in St. Petersburg on Treasure Island. This year's 16 riders will spend 4 days making their way on the intercoastal waterway to St. Augustine. This morning is the first day of the trip. The riders are leaving base camp at the jet ski-friendly Bayside Inn on Treasure Island. Treasure Island got its name from real estate owners who, around 1915, tried to drive up the value of their land by first burying and then pretending to discover pirate treasure. Well, word soon spread and the name stuck. We just didn't realize that Bernie Madoff had relatives this far south. As the group makes their way, they encounter today's first landmark, Treasure Island Causeway. They'll be traveling 120 water miles today through some great scenery. The many no-wake zones here offer the opportunity to take in this beautiful location, the great waterside homes, wildlife, and a chance to get your sea legs under you. Traveling through this coastal playground, the skiers make their way towards today's second landmark, the Corrie Causeway Bridge. Originally built in the 1930s, today's modern structure provides tourists their main access to the crystalline white sands and blue waters of the famous St. Pete's Beach. Out of the no-wake zone, it's throttle up for a quick run to the Pinellas Bayway Bridge, which is State Highway 679. The group pauses here for everyone to catch up. On such a long ride, it's important to regroup regularly to make sure everyone's machine is functioning and they've got clear directions to the next landmark. When everyone has regrouped, they make their way under today's third landmark, the Pinellas Bayway Bridge. Once under the bridge, the group enters the Tampa Bay waterways, passes Indian Key, and links up with 275 Sunshine Skyway, heading south towards the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. The dash across Tampa Bay is a full-throttle kick in the pants, enhanced by an incredible view of the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Once the site of a terrible maritime accident, the new 4.1-mile bridge has been voted number 3 of top 10 bridges in the world by the Travel Channel. Every photo op's a good one. As the bridge curves away southeast, the group heads due south across Tampa Bay towards Bradenton. Across Tampa Bay, their journey winds past Holmes Beach and 2 more landmarks, the Anna Maria Bridge and the Cortez Bridge. Passing Blackburn Point, they're closing in on their first stop at Crow's Nest Marina. The riders are almost 60 miles into their first day, and it's time for food and fuel. Getting 16 skis filled up is quite a juggling act.
How was it?
It was good, but a lot of no wakes.
Yeah.
I just don't like that, you know what I'm saying? Nice camera.
With full tanks, the riders and their skis are ready for the next big push. Leaving Crow's Nest Marina, the riders are posed with a choice of staying on the winding, slower, but protected intercoastal waterway, or heading for the Gulf and faster water, but at the total mercy of Mother Nature. Let's check in.
All right, we decided to take the Gulf for the rest leg of the trip for day one, and we are heading to the next marina.
In just a couple of hours, the riders have covered 60 miles on the open ocean on their way to Cape Coral. Regrouping just offshore, the riders will then make their way back to the intercoastal waterway. Several machines are almost out of fuel, so there's a quick stop at Black Marina to fill up. Back underway, it's a short ride to the day's final destination, the boater-friendly Casa Loma Hotel in Cape Coral. As the group ties off for the night, they've had a very good day. 120 miles, 0 breakdowns, and most importantly, 0 missing riders.
Wussie is actually an acronym. It stands, it's WUSSIE. It's Warm Up for Spring, Sojourn, Interstate Expedition. For a few of us who got together who wanted to have an early spring ride, and we said, well, okay, we'll do it. And then we challenged other people. If they did not come on the ride, we called them a wussy. And so then that's just how the name, we said, well, if we're going to call them a wussy, let's have it mean something. So we just made up that acronym.
Day 2 demands an early start. From Casa Loma, there are 5 locks to navigate before the end of the day in Stuart, Florida. The riders prepare to leave their friends at the Casa Loma Hotel, and they have a lot of ground to cover. The peaceful neighborhood waterways lead our group into the Okeechobee Waterway, a 145-mile water playground that bisects the Florida Panhandle from east to west. Leaving Fort Myers, Midpoint Bridge is their first landmark of the day. It's also the first in a string of impressive and haunting bridges. Man-made behemoths that, from water level, take on a life of their own. They're 23 miles into the journey, and today's second leg will take them from Franklin Lock to a scheduled fuel stop near LaBelle. Franklin Lock was built in 1965 at a cost of $3.8 million, hence the term $1 Million View. The group tops off fuel at a beautiful secluded marina. It's so secluded, it's not even on the map. Fuel tanks full, it's a short run to the Ortona Lock. The Ortona Lock was built in 1937, and almost 10,000 vessels a year pass through these doors. A short run brings the group to Moorhaven. Once a boomtown, it was literally wiped off the map by back-to-back hurricanes in 1926 and 1928. Moorhaven Lock is the gateway to the Everglades and Lake Okeechobee. And if you're thinking about lunch, this is the place. And lunch is thinking about you. Low on fuel and energy, our group heads over to Roland Martin Marina. It's the last stop for gas before hitting the massive Lake Okeechobee.
We can't leave it here to have lunch, can we?
It's fine. We're good.
Really?
Like an oasis in the desert, Scotty's Tiki Bar draws travelers from far and wide and is the perfect lunch stop.
So you're going around the perimeter, right, George?
Yeah.
I think I probably am too. That seems to be the popular route.
There's two routes across Lake Okeechobee, the Shoreline Scenic Route or straight across. It's 24 miles to cross Lake Okeechobee. It's wild, it's beautiful, and anything can happen on the open water. It's the second largest freshwater lake in the U.S., and the storms here are devastating. A 1928 hurricane killed over 2,000 people and still ranks as one of the top 10 most powerful storms in U.S. history. Their route now takes them parallel to the Canner Highway 76. The architecture you see from the water is stunning. Lush vegetation pushes in from all sides. Like a big brother, the looming Highway 710 bridge stands guard over its little railroad brother. The wild vegetation slowly relinquishes its grasp to plantations, small farms, and weekend fish camps. Passing the occasional day cruiser reminds us that the Okeechobee Waterway, built in 1937 with its 5 locks, waterways, and canals, saves mariners over 300 nautical miles by not having to navigate all the way around the Florida Panhandle. Back in civilization, the group approaches its 5th and final lock of the day, the St. Lucie Lock. They've traveled 130 miles to this point, leaving only 6 more to go for the day.
So we're in the lock of St. Lucie, 6 miles to our hotel.
It's been an amazing day. Bridges and unbelievable architecture you would never get to see unless you travel by water. Gators by the dozens, and more wildlife than you can shake a stick at. Finally, at their destination, the Monterey Inn at Stuart, Florida, our weary travelers refresh and relax.
Just a good run. A lot of beautiful homes along the way. I'm very happy. It's been a very relaxing day.
As the sun sets, they'll drift off to sleep, humbled by a world only a lucky few have ever experienced. Day 3 breaks with pristine weather. Heading out from Monterey Inn, it's only 11 miles to the Atlantic Ocean. As they head out onto the St. Lucie River, today's first landmarks are a trio of steel and concrete behemoths. First is the Dixie Highway Bridge, then Flagler Avenue Train Bridge, and finally, the tallest of the three, Federal Highway 1. Now on the open ocean, it's a full-throttle sprint 23 miles north of Fort Pierce Inlet. A short break lets the slower riders catch up. Just as the weather starts looking rough, it's time to get off the open water. From the Fort Pierce Inlet, our group enters the Intercoastal Waterway and heads under the North Beach Causeway Bridge. This is a particularly beautiful part of the Intercoastal. Protected lands from the Fort Pierce State Park, Pepper Beach State Recreation Area, and Avalon State Park provide amazing scenery for this 15-mile stretch. A quick check of the GPS confirms they are all still on course. Passing under the 17th Street Bridge and the Merrill P. Barber Bridge confirms they've reached their fuel destination at Vero Beach. The group has traveled 45 miles since their morning departure, and it's the perfect time for a fill-up. Vero Beach has a very rich history. It's the home of Piper Aircraft, Disney's Vero Beach Resort, citrus and grapefruit farms, and the site of the discovery of skeletal remains known as Vero Man. It's only 45 miles to their next destination in Cocoa Beach when, without warning, a large storm cell moves in from the Gulf, surrounding the riders, and they need to find shelter. To complicate matters, a group has become separated from the other riders. With no GPS, no one is sure how far or in which direction they should go.
How many miles have we gone? Well, no, we haven't. How many miles in here? What's the total run over there? 50 miles? Shorter than what?
There's too many unanswered questions. Their best course of action is anyone's guess. Guessing on the water can be deadly. Continuing on, the rain-pelted riders are now dealing with dangerous chop. They are forced to pause frequently, making sure every rider is accounted for. Straining to see the horizon and any landmark that they might recognize, they have only one option left: keep pushing forward. rain at 40 miles an hour feels just like shards of glass on your face. It's just too dangerous to keep going. The group seeks shelter under the Ogue Alley Causeway Bridge. Little do they know, they're about to make a very bad decision.
I say we just wing it.
In what they thought was a mad dash to their hotel in safety, was a dash in the wrong direction, taking them further from shelter and wasting precious fuel. Finally, someone recognizes the bridge they are hovering under is State Highway 404, and they are now well off course. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, the storm moves off and visibility returns. Their path is now clear, and they make one final push for Cocoa Beach. It's been one heck of a day. Exhausted, our riders tie off at the Orange Cove Marina and head to the Comfort Inn for a well-deserved rest.
We should have turned around and come back. That's okay.
He was talking about doing that in one day.
A little extra ride. I still don't know who figured 80 miles for today, because there ain't no way, even if we would have got the right turn.
It's day 4, the last day of the trip. Let's check in with the riders.
We had so many no-wait songs, you know, so I like the fast going. Even I'm 76, you know me. So it's been nice. It's the first time I've rode one of these long trips by myself, because we usually ride together on long trips. On short trips, I take mine, he takes his, but yeah, I really miss him, tying up and just being there so I can take a nap in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was definitely an experience. It's a tough trip. You got to be in really good shape to do this trip. We did go through the Everglades. You know, I enjoyed looking at the alligators. This is the first time I've ever done this trip. I've been watching it for the last 3 years. Actually, often think if I'm going to do it again, but I think after getting a good night's sleep for the first time last night that I would do it again. And we just met a lot of great people here. I mean, Doug did a great job putting this ride together.
Well, my wife and I came down here in November, and we stayed in marinas with hotels, which are very hard to find anymore in Florida. Sampled some of the food. We found some very good ones, because I've heard from the people, and the response has been pretty positive, and I think it's been a good trip so far.
Where we came from last night, made the right to come down here. All we got to do is keep on going straight. It's only not even like 5 miles up.
From their starting point at the Orange Cove Marina, it's 60 miles to their midway fuel stop at the New Smyrna Marina.
Most of it out on the ocean and the Gulf. Okeechobee was nice. It's It's a lot better than cruising on the intercoast with all the no-wake zones. Well, we're hoping for good, smooth water. I guess we'll find out when we get there, but it was pretty rough yesterday, but we're hoping for better today.
There's an easygoing vibe. Even the wildlife are relaxed, so if you can't beat them, join them.
It'll be fun, and the guys will watch after me. I'll be fine.
Leaving New Smyrna, they start the last leg of the trip. It's 60 miles up to St. Augustine and their final stop, the Doug Crane boat ramp. Getting separated yesterday has the group extremely aware of everyone's location. When a call from another rider comes in, it's a #1 concern for the group to find them. Luckily, this time, it was just a rider out of fuel, an easy fix for a well-prepared group like this. For this year's 16 lucky riders, it's been an epic trip. From their start in the Gulf on Treasure Island near St. Petersburg, through the Okeechobee Waterway, gators and all, to the Atlantic Ocean and the legendary St. Augustine. 4 days and 471 miles of smiles.
We're ready to go to Key West. I'm just gonna gas up. We're gonna head up north.
It's not for the faint of heart, but for those with a sense to explore.
We made it.
It's not just for professionals, but for those willing to push themselves just a little further.
2012 Wussie, whip!
To see what few have ever seen and accomplish a journey only a handful of people will ever make. You're not just a jet skier, you're a wussy.